The situation in the Ukraine is a tragic one for the civilized world. It has particular meaning for the Jews because the president of the Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, is a Jew, and as a Jew, he spoke out and said, "Don't you Jews see what is happening?" That is why it is very important that the millions of Jews around the world not remain silent right now. Nazism is born in silence, so shout about the killings of civilians, shout about the murders of Ukrainians. And we most certainly should. We as Jews who know what it is when a world remains silent have the obligation to cry out at this time. But our Torah portion of this week reminds us of what King Solomon taught us. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. So yes, there is a time to raise our voices, but we have to remember that there are times when perhaps it's better to remain silent. And we see that in an incident that takes place, a tragic incident in today's Torah portion, where we are told that while bringing a sacrifice to God, Aaron's two sons, Nadav and Avihu, somehow desecrated the altar and a fire burst forth and killed them. And there stands Aaron. He's no longer the high priest. He's a father who has just lost two children, and says the Torah, Vayidom Aharon, and Aaron remained silent. Rabbi Harold Kushner, who himself lost a child, said this is the most eloquent silence in all of biblical literature. Every place else in the Torah, we are told what a person had to say. It's only here, with such a tragedy, where we are being told that nothing was said. But that silence tells us a lot. It's telling us of the inner struggle that took place within Aharon. How could he go on believing in God who would allow such a thing to happen? How could he maintain his faith? I'm sure he wanted to strike out in rage, but he didn't. He remained silent, and he had the courage to carry on. If there's one thing I've learned as a rabbi in the time of tragedy, it's that sometimes silence is most comforting. Do you know that according to Jewish law, and I am reading to you, Jewish law in Yoredea tells us that a visitor is not allowed to speak to a mourner until the mourner speaks first. You remain silent. Let's hear what he or her have to say. Sometimes it's better to say nothing. I have a book here by Rabbi Jack Reamer, a dear, dear colleague and friend and teacher. And he writes, I have my own collection of bloopers that I have heard at a house of Shiva, or that people have told me was said to them. Here are some of my favorites. At least you were prepared. Isn't that a nice thing to say to somebody whose spouse was ill for a long time? At least you were prepared. Or at least she went quickly. Isn't that stupid to say to someone who is in shock at the sudden loss of someone whom we love? At least she went quickly. I know how you feel. Really? Do you? Have you gone through this? And even if you have, you sure everyone reacts the way you do? Or are you planning to sell your house now? Or you're young and pretty, you'll find someone else. Should be careful what we say. Not only in the house of Shiva, but when someone is going through difficult, trying times. A book that's had an impact on me is called Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Told by Kate Bowler. Kate Bowler is a professor at Duke University Divinity School. And at the age of 35, she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She reads about her experience, what she went through, and what people said to her. And she has an appendix at the end of the book, which is titled, Absolutely Never Say This to People Experiencing Terrible Times. Number one, well, at least what? This is stage 5 cancer. Or number two, in my long life, I've learned that in your long life, you become such a maven on illness and suffering. Number three, it's going to get better, I promise. There's no guarantee of that. Don't make no promises. Or 4, God needed an angel. Oh, make God the good guy or the bad guy. He took her from her family because he needed an angel. Number 5, everything happens for a reason. I don't know. I don't believe that. And I don't think you should tell that to someone who is suffering, that there's a good reason for this. Number 6, I've done some research and, so you checked on Google and now you know what this whole illness is all about. Or number 8, so how are the treatments going? How are you really? Do you really want to put a person in a position of having to spill their guts out? Offer a hug. Tell someone you're there for them. Call them and offer to go shopping for them. There are things to say. But sometimes the best thing is to be there and be silent. Shabbat shalom.